All right, we're back with another edition of Ram Country Conversations here across social media platforms. Colorado State Athletics. Brian Roth, voice of the Rams, with you. And we continue to talk some Colorado State basketball with Ali Farokhmanesh, third-year assistant coach for CSU men's basketball. Ali, great to see you. And I know you've three kids at home playing a little Mr. Mom of late at the homestead, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been fun. It's definitely a change of pace. Well, I don't know. It's a faster pace almost, but it's been good.
So this pandemic, look, it's caused so much disruption in so many aspects of everybody's lives, and certainly in the lives of college basketball coaches. Yeah, you play Mr. Mom, but you still have your job. I'm curious how you and your coaching staff have kind of used this time over the last 4 months to continue to try to do your job. I know recruiting has been a lot tougher.
Yeah, it's been difficult for us in that sense, just because we haven't seen a lot of these kids play in person for 6-7 months now. Just because when they're in season for high school, we're in season two, and if the kids aren't in Colorado, then we're on a plane flight somewhere. So that aspect's been difficult, but we've at least done our homework, and we've seen all these kids that we are recruiting in person at some point. And now it's just relying on a lot of film. And it's kind of, I was joking with one of the football coaches, Louis Adazio, and because they almost all go on film. Like, football is just such a different beast in recruiting than we are, because we have AAU and high school, whereas they're some 7-on-7, and then they go watch them lift in the spring, and it's different for us, but we're managing it. I think you got to trust your relationships, and we're lucky that you have JR and Coach Thorson and Nico too, but all of us have pretty deep relationships with a lot of people in a lot of different places.
Does it feel like it's getting back to a sense of normalcy? And again, normal, so we've talked about many folks, coaches, athletes on these Ram Country Conversations. Normal isn't going to be like the old normal for quite some time, but you're back in the office. The players are back on campus, at least most of them. You're going to be at Moby Arena starting next week. Do you get a sense of kind of normalcy back there?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's just seeing the guys again. I think that brought some normalcy. And Nico's made a really good point about telling these guys, like, that nothing's normal about this. Nothing's normal about this. And that's okay. And I think you got to admit that too. But you have to work with what you have right now. And we're doing the best we can with the access that we have to the gym, and the access we have to them, and what we can use with our film, and how we can use our communication with the Zooms, everything, Dropbox. So we're using all avenues to try to communicate as well as we can. And we've been doing the best we can to stay connected too. And I think we've worried less about the basketball aspect of it, and like telling them drills and do this and do that. It's honestly, we've been just trying to stay connected as a group. And we'll work on the basketball stuff later, but we're trying to stay as connected as possible.
You've had the experience as a student athlete, a freshman come from high school, and then you step on a college campus. You're the freshman. That's a big jump. I mean, even before you start formal workouts. But for the incoming freshman class now, I mean, you're doing this with no sense of normalcy, and you're moving from across the country to Fort Collins. I imagine you guys have had conversations with the freshmen. How have they handled the last couple of weeks of transitioning here to college?
They've been good. We're pretty lucky that these three guys that we brought in specifically they're mature, and it's hard to say an 18-year-old's mature, but for those 18-year-olds, like they really are. Like between Trace, Isaiah, and Jacob, they're more mature than most freshmen coming in, and I think we're lucky that they are, considering the circumstances we're in, because they're having to deal with a lot. They can't hang out with a bunch of people. They got to wear masks everywhere they go. They can't go out to eat at places. They don't get to experience what Fort Collins is all about, and the community, and what CSU is all about. So they're missing that aspect of it, but they're handling it really well, and I applaud them for doing it, because if I was a freshman, I'd be dying right now.
Yeah, without question. All right, final thought before we let you go. Hey, 20 games last year in the win column for you guys. I know you surprised some folks in the Mountain West Conference, and had that terrific freshman class. How does that freshman class of last year, and of course led by Isaiah and David, how do they take the next step here as sophomores this winter?
Yeah, we talked about a lot with them, just that each one of them has one thing specifically that they need to work on, and we're trying to figure it out with each one of them, and each one's different. And each guy has a separate thing they struggle with or that they need to get better at. And so we're identifying it with them, and they're trying to get after it. And so I think you're going to see a lot of changes from each guy, and whether that's with John Tonji just learning the offense better, or whether that's with Isaiah just tightening his body and getting more detailed with some stuff he does, and Roddy just becoming a better defender and becoming a more lethal guy on the perimeter. I think all those guys have different things to work on, and they know it too. So I'm excited to get back with them and see them in the gym again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Ali, thanks so much. Appreciate it. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you and your guys over at Moby Arena here sooner than later. Thanks so much.
Nope. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me.
All right, Ali Farokhmanesh, assistant coach for the Colorado State men's basketball program. I'm Brian Roth. Thanks for watching Ram Country Conversations.